What if I told you that the Nile was considered the lifeblood of Egypt because it represented the tears of a goddess? In ancient times, Egyptian kings were seen as the living embodiment of Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris. The Nile was believed to carry the divine essence of these gods, making the pharaoh's rule an extension of the god's will over the fertile lands of Egypt. The ancient Egyptians also believed that the Nile had connections to the underworld. The river was thought to act as a passage between the realms of the living and the dead, similar to the mythical river Styx in Greek mythology. Osiris's association with both death and fertility strengthened the idea that the Nile was a channel of divine power. In addition to its mythological significance, the Nile played a crucial role in Egyptian rituals and ceremonies. During the annual flooding, offerings were made to Isis in hopes of a bountiful harvest. The flooding was seen as her blessing, ensuring the fertility of the soil and the well-being of the people. One of the most remarkable aspects of the myth of Isis and the Nile is how it reflects the real-world geography and climate of ancient Egypt. The Nile's flooding, which was essential for farming in the desert environment, corresponded perfectly with the story of Isis's tears bringing life to the land. The Nile's water was believed to carry magical properties and used in purification rituals. Priests would collect the sacred water for use in religious ceremonies. Isis, revered as the goddess of magic, healing, and motherhood, was not only responsible for the creation of the Nile, but also for maintaining its flow. Her influence over the river was seen as constant, as her tears continued to nourish the land even after Osiris's resurrection. Throughout Egyptian history, the Nile River maintained its sacred status. Even as other cultures conquered Egypt, the belief in the Nile's divine origins persisted. Did you know that the origins of the Nile River are deeply connected to one of the most powerful myths of ancient Egypt? Let's dive into the mind-blowing connection between the goddess Isis and the Nile River, the world's longest rivers. The ancient Egyptians believed that the Nile was more than just a river. It was a divine gift from the gods, flowing from the tears of the goddess Isis. According to legend, when Isis mourned the death of her beloved husband Osiris, her tears of grief flowed endlessly, giving rise to the mighty Nile. The story of Isis and Osiris is central to Egyptian mythology. Osiris, the god of the afterlife and fertility, was murdered by his jealous brother Set, who scattered his body across Egypt. In her grief, Isis embarked on a quest to find all the pieces of Osiris's body, and as she wept over the loss, her tears flooded the land, creating the Nile. For the ancient Egyptians, the Nile was not only a source of life, but also a sacred symbol of resurrection and renewal, mirroring the myth of Isis's devotion to Osiris. The Nile's annual flooding, which fertilized the soil and sustained Egyptian agriculture, was seen as a continuation of Isis's life-giving powers. Interestingly, the Nile's origin in myth has been tied to several sacred locations. Some believed it started in the mountains where the sun god Ra was born, further linking the river to divine sources. This made the river not just a geographical feature, but a living connection between the heavens and the earth. Ancient Egyptians also associated the Nile's flow with the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. They believed the river's flooding represented Osiris's resurrection, and its waters symbolized the renewal of life each year. The Nile River's importance in Egyptian mythology cannot be overstated. Temples and monuments dedicated to both Isis and Osiris lined the riverbanks, reinforcing their central role in the fertility of the land and the prosperity of the people. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more exciting content.